Hello, my name is Jeremiah,
Brother Dexter.
and we're coming here from the Atlanta branch. And today we'll be talking about love versus lust. And I feel like love and lust is a constant battle that we face today as young people. And today we'll be talking about that and how it affected our forefathers' relationship with the God of Israel. And when I say lust, I mean lusting for the physical. And that can entail, money, cars, clothes, physical, materialistic things. And it also can tie into social status and to the opposite sex. So we'll be discussing that today and how it affected our relationship with our Father. And when I say lust, you can lust, you can like materialistic things, right? You can like those things, but it's to the point where you can't put it to the forefront of your life, right? To where you're doing nothing, you're focused on nothing but that. And the reason why I say that is because in today's era, in today's time, as a young person, we see a lot of things, the age of social media, right? So we see a lot of things just by an Instagram post, Instagram video. We can see people's lives. We can see people's how much money they make, and that can have a toll on someone. I'm 21, so being a young person and seeing so many young people that have their lives pretty much planned out. They have a lot of money, they have social status, they have a lot of cars and clothes. And for some people, it's like, wow, I think I need to do that. I have to do that. They want to. We see that, and we want to rush into it. We want to. Oh, I have to have that. I have to have that. This lifestyle looks so fun. It looks so interesting. I must have it. So when we see that, and when we get hit with reality, because not everyone's situation is going to be like that. Not everyone's path is for that. So when we get hit with that, it's like, wow, like I feel depressed. I feel dissatisfied. It wakes up a sense of dissatisfaction within you, and that's where it pushes. It shifts your values, right, to where, oh, I only care about the materialistic things. I only care about, dang, I gotta have the latest 2022 Dodge Charger. I gotta have the latest J's. I gotta have the latest shoes, and I gotta have about 500,000 followers, right, on Instagram. Things like that. And that's where it's bad. That's where it's to the point where you're lusting and you're distracting yourself from your true purpose or your true meaning, right? Meaning in life, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I feel like it's a huge thing that we need to talk about.
You made some great points. And when we're talking, listening, I was thinking, the scripture says, if you build a kingdom, all things will be added to you. I was thinking in my mind, but who really builds the kingdom? Who knows how to build a kingdom? Right. Who knows, right? Who's required? Also, listening, you're 21 years old.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You just, those of you who know, in our culture we have cycles, right? Each 7 years a cycle, right? And Jeremiah just finished his third cycle, right? So to hear him speak about these things, lust and love, like, wow, this young man talking about this concept, in college, where all you have is distractions. You have the pretty girls and all the images that you have. I remember when I was in college, they were selling you the credit cards, right? Credit card, and you saw it as money. Like if they don't have money, so again, it was a lie, it was deception, And that's how I see this lust is. You get all these things, but really, what's really there? What's really there? It's empty, It's really empty, So I think it's a costly subject. I'm ready to dive in. Those of you out there, make sure you get your pen and pencil, your pad. Make sure to like, and let's go and do it. If you like what you hear, as we continue to discuss, we've been on every Friday, Saturdays. You know us. So if you don't know us, how you doing? Here we are. All right, we're here to teach the doctrine of the true living God, right? And how you can change your life and stop following the heathens, right? and learn through God's people. And today we're going to hear my nephew's going to lead us in our discussion today about how we can change our life and realize lust and love. I understand you said earlier, ain't it wrong having a nice car, nice things? Nothing wrong with that. But you said earlier, you can't, that can't be the forefront of your life existence because it's empty. Because you have a car breaks down.
Right.
Your clothes, they go come out of style or it's shabby. These things don't last for long. You want stuff that lasts long. So
I agree. I like your point. So going into lust, I just want to talk about. Well, this is my thesis statement, right? Without truth, it's all lust, right?
Amen.
Without the spirit of truth, it's dead and shallow. It's really shallow because there's no meaning behind it. There's more to it. There's more to than what meets the eye. Meets the eye, right? So so I feel like that's my thesis statement. So with that being said, I'd like to dive into my definition of lust.
Well, is it trust? Like lust isn't, but the truth. You want something that's more. The eye is superficial. What's under it?
That's true.
What's
right.
under it?
That's true. Good point. So lust is the want and desire of physical need, and to put that select desire in the forefront of your wants and needs. This could be money, materialistic things, and it can also tie into greed, right? And the opposite sex. So I have a question for the audience and for you as well. Is lust a good or a bad thing? What do you think? I know we've painted a pretty, picture of it.
Right.
But what would you say?
I say if your whole life is on lust, I'm telling you, that apple look or that cheesecake looks kind of good,
Yeah.
Or you realize realize you can't have it to you every day.
Yeah.
That won't be good for you.
No.
Right. So it's a balance.
Yeah.
If that girl, she is fine. Meanwhile, she telling you, well, you gotta forget about the holy days. She ain't too fine no more.
Nah.
You lose that. So I'll say it's hard to say what lust is bad. It's a little bit, ain't it wrong? A little bit when some, but it has to be in order. It has to be your what's the word I'm looking for? You got to have your priorities straight. Priorities.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I also would like to agree with that as well. I think you can lust, but having you gotta when it comes to the point where it distracts you from serving your God, I think that's when it's like it's distracting your morals, right? It's distracting your code, right? So I think it's a bad thing, of course. So today we'll be talking about what happens when there's lust and what happens when there's love in the Bible. So I'd like to flip into Samson. So we'll be turning to Judges 16. And we'll just be reading from 4 to 13 and then skip down, In the meantime, if you could spam nothing but sevens, fires in the chat, make some noise for, like, share, and comment.
Comment if you go on the description. Comment if you have questions. Comment. Go ahead, send us questions. If you don't like what we said, go ahead and tell us why. We'll respond. We're here to learn and teach. Right. So that's what it's about. Let me go and read it. I can read it.
Oh, you can.
Verse 4.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right. Verse 4. And it came to pass afterward, and he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. Even the name sounds nice, right? Delilah. It sounds like, wow. Think about it. Delilah. The name sounds like someone, attractive, right?
It's a pretty name.
Pretty name.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Like Boomhilda. Like she's some kind of like, Bessie. It sounds like somebody, not ugly, but somebody who can cook. Bessie. That Bessie boy, she sure can't cook. Okay, verse 5. And the Lord of the Philistines came up to her and said to her, entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, And by what means we may prevail against them, that we may bind him to afflict them. And we give thee, every one of us, 1,100 pieces of silver.
So here we're talking about, an Israelite man, who was strong. He was strong beyond measure. He judged Israel. He judged over Israel, right? And he was a Nazarite, right? We're talking about Samson, right? And you can continue. You can continue.
But I don't want to say, but it's not the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's an agent.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's an agent.
Yeah.
They said a strong man. But what can hurt this strong man?
Right.
The woman. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lesson to learn.
No,
a lesson to learn.
Yeah.
That's why you need a good woman. That's why you need a good woman.
Oh yeah.
It's so important. Not that woman. You need a good Israelite woman.
Good Israelite woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this woman, she already had people. They're gonna pay her money, right, and to entice him to find out his weakness, so he can hurt him. Man, what kind of woman is that? Woman, you don't need enemies, right? Come on. Yeah. And Delilah said to Samson, "Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, where thou mightest be bound to afflict thee." Excuse me.
So right there, it's like, okay, I'm me personally. I'm looking around, thinking there's a wire somewhere.
Right.
Why do you some type of microphone, some hidden camera? Right. What's going on here? Like what's going on?
And he couldn't see that though.
No, he couldn't.
He couldn't see that, or he didn't want to see it. And she's talking crazy, but she sure was fine. She's so crazy, but she fine though. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, y'all know how it is. Y'all know. Women and men, y'all know. He's so handsome. He's so handsome. But when he talk, this boy is stupid. Y'all know it. You know it. You've been there, right? He said the side because the person look attractive. And having said to her, "If thou buy me with seven green whips that were never dried, then should I be weak and be as another man?" See, he's playing along with her.
Yeah.
But says he knows what's up. But see, it's telling he knows, right? But he can't resist her. And the Lord of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green whips which had not been dried, and she bound them with them. Now they were men lying in wait. So the setup is there. Abiding with her in the chamber. And she said to him, "The Philistines be upon thee, Samson." And he brake the whips. The thread of the tub is broken when they touched the fire. So his strength was not known.
It's magnificent. It's crazy.
Wow. Samson can't see, right? You can't see this? What's going on? Let's continue on. We're going with 13, right? Yeah. Verse 10. And Delilah said to Samson, "Behold, thou hast mocked me." No, she was looking all beautiful, smelling all good. Yeah. Curves, bang, 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 and told me lies and not tell me. I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. He said to her, she's so good looking. I mean, boy. He said to her, "If thou bind me with fast with new ropes, and never were occupied, then should I be weak and be as another man." So it's like almost like playing, right? They playing with each other. Yeah. Well, he's playing with her, and she's serious.
Yeah, no, she's serious. But I feel like she's putting on an act as well.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I don't even know how good the act is, because he's like playing with it, but he's also buying into it as well. It's weird. It's different.
Oh, it's good enough. If you, like I say, love is blind. That man is blind. Yeah. And I'm telling you, she's looking good. She had her best on, makeup, lips looking on, she's looking fine.
Right.
And this, where am I at? Verse 12? Yeah, 12. Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therefore and said to him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said to Samson, "Hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound." And said to her, "If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web." So now he's going to tell her, But it's so interesting how, like you said earlier, you got to think she got a wire on her.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the question she asked, what kind of is a woman ask you questions? Hey man, how you weak? What your weaknesses?
Yeah, it's a setup.
If she asked you that in the beginning of your relationship, something you better run. You better run, not walk, but run. Run. But still,
I'm
she
already
was fine
asking
though.
questions.
Right, but you thinking logically.
Well,
Thinking logically. Oh, that's something that doesn't seem right there. You know, the tone of your voice is, but she is fine.
That's a good point.
It's almost like it's like you look at her right. Like if she says you don't really hear, you don't really hear. Like look at her, you mesmerized.
I will kill you. She's like, yeah, baby.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Whatever you want. No, I can't stand you. I'm gonna kill you. I know. I love you though. That's how it is. That she has something over on him.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Which verse we going to where?
We're gonna skip down to verse 16.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
And it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death. Now, God, you know how that is, right? You know how it is. The game coming on, the championship game. Your wife said, you know what? Take the garbage out.
Yeah, I get to it.
I do it. I do it. All of a sudden you're watching the game, right? The best player of the game. Oh, what's going on? Honey, and I asked you to take garbage out. Overtime. So now you realize you can't. There's overtime.
Yeah.
Until you
go ahead and knock it out.
So go ahead and just
go ahead and knock it out.
Go ahead and do it.
Yep.
Unfortunately, when you do it, when you come back, game's over.
That's tough.
Okay, 17, right?
Yeah.
And he told her all his heart and said to her, there have not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite, not Nazarene.
Nope.
Difference, right?
Yep.
A Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I have been shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man.
Wow. You revealed it to her?
Yeah.
Just like that?
No, it's funny. Speaking of Nazarite, and I had to point it out. People get confused. I've seen people. It's now Nazarenes. No, if you're a Nazarene, it means you're from the city of Nazareth.
Yeah.
Right. A Nazarite. It's not a city.
No,
right.
It's an oath.
Oath. Right. Oath. Right.
18.
18. Okay. And when Delilah saw that he had tore all his heart, man, he gave her all his heart. That's serious stuff. You get someone your heart. It makes you so vulnerable. Yeah, make sure the person you're giving your heart to is trustworthy. That is the problem. You give your heart, yeah, but make sure that person is worthy for your heart. Worthy, trustworthy, honest, integrity. And she definitely was not. She ulterior motive in the beginning. She ulterior motive.
She didn't even give him any like points to where it's like, I'm on your side.
I know.
Nothing, like she didn't even put no work in it. Like she just
like think about it. What he love about her? What is the love about Delilah?
Yeah.
Like if we be taking it logically, what is the love? What did she do to make him love her? Besides the way she looked.
Right.
That's the only thing.
I understand it, but you got to do something. Like for me, you got to be your mindset or something. How you think is gonna attract me some more. But
that's him said, okay, what you gonna tell me? I'm gonna tell you everything. What you gonna tell me? What about you?
Right.
Who sent you?
Right.
But he didn't go there. He was he. Messed up.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 18, right?
Yeah.
And when Delilah saw that he had tore her all his heart, and she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come upon this once, for he has shewed me all his heart. And the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave all the 7 locks of his head, and she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. You see that? That's some dirty stuff. He sleep on her legs,
Yeah, he
fine.
literally trusted her. Like he trusted her.
Put his head on her legs, and she caused a man to cut her. And why them cut him? And why his head was cut? She was roughing him up. roughing them up, man. She was afflicting them, roughing them up. Right, all kind of, man, she was dirty.
Sick.
This is, who says it's a love story? This is no love story.
This is far from a love story.
Man.
It's a one-sided relationship. One-sided.
I equate it to? I equate it to Christianity.
Why?
Because Christianity is so had these beautiful, all this money and all this thing to tempt the eyes, right? But once it had heaven, it's gonna pop, afflict you.
Yeah, make you weaker.
That's for us. That's that Christianity. That's the lie right there.
Yeah.
That's the lie. See, that's people out there. You're still focused on Christianity. You're blinded by it. You're blinded by it, but you don't see that once they making you vulnerable, and once they do that, afflict you. Look at us. Look at history here in America, and the other areas that Jacob went. Jacobites. We suffered because we believe that Christianity, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, all enslaved us. Enslaved us.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see. Our eyes weren't open. Eyes to see. You have eyes to see, right? That's Samson didn't have eyes to see. That physical thing.
You got lost in the physical.
Yeah.
And lusting for the physical.
Yeah.
So while Samson was, getting lost in his lust for Delilah, I'm just thinking, like, do you think someone was in his camp in his corner was like, yo, bro, like, she's out to get you. Like, she's not on your side. Like, do you think there was someone that had been there conversing with him?
Well, yeah. I remember his parents, they were saying, Samson, are there no women in Israel that you can pick?
Right.
You have to go way out to these strangers. It wasn't as light wasn't the first one. He had one before that was strange. I think she was killed, all that stuff. So yeah. So Samson, I don't know, something about them strange women that he liked.
Yeah. It led to his demise. Those were like, the repercussions of his actions, He wasn't having, the structure of I gotta have the God of Israel, he wasn't having the spirit of truth in his forefront, right? He was distracted. He had the woman, Delilah to distract him, right? But
he did eventually though. And at the end, what's when we have sometimes,
right,
when things are so bad, that's when we start to think. We get in that quiet environment. We start to think about what's really going on, and then he remembered that his job, the true living God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. He remembered that, and then he came back.
Right. Yeah. So if you like that story, feel free to hit the fire, put the 7s in the chat, like, share, and comment. Don't forget to subscribe. So with that being said, I'd like to move on to Solomon.
Another lover of strange women.
Hey,
yeah.
He's a wise king, though.
Yeah, he was.
Wise king, one of the best kings that Israel has ever seen. So let's flip to 1 Kings 11. I'll be reading that.
If you start reading, you'll see it's this thing.
All right. So yeah, 1 Kings 11, and I'll be reading from 1 to 13. All right. The King Solomon loved many strange women.
Damn.
Already?
He loved many strange women.
Yeah, we didn't waste any time.
Wow, he going to it.
Wow. All right. Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
He was busy, wasn't he?
I didn't see. Did you see Israelites? I didn't see.
Busy. Not a one. Not a one.
I didn't see Israelites at all.
Not a one.
Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love.
Ooh, he clave unto them. That's not just like them. He like
cradled, nurtured. What?
Wow, Solomon.
He said, ye shall not go into them,
kingdom.
neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
But the wisest king.
The wisest king.
Man.
The wisest king.
Think about that. The wisest
wisest
king. He was told, don't go into the women. The wisest king.
Wow.
And he clave unto them. Clave unto them. I just like them. Not, man, I gotta have these women. I gotta have them. Man, Solomon, the wisest king.
I want to go back to my thesis. Without truth, it's all lust. Without the spirit of truth, it's dead and shallow.
Wow.
It's dead and shallow. So he's going to these other gods that these women brought into him, and he's his heart is there. They're all dead. The little G guys, they're dead. They're dead. All right, let's continue. 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart.
People think, wow, yeah, Solomon had 700 wives. And that wasn't good. That's not good. He was told not to.
How did he find the time?
Man, I don't know what he did. He ain't had no HBO Max, I guess.
Hey.
He had no HBO Max, no Netflix. So
a lot of Netflix passwords.
He ain't know that stuff.
That's crazy.
Man.
All right. For it came to pass when Solomon was, first of all, and he had 700 wives. So I just want to go back to that. So that's not even, I know that's not even peaceful. My mind would be everywhere if I had 700 to look after. I couldn't even be sane.
I don't know if we had all one time, but a lot of it was political reasons.
Yeah.
But even still, 700 wives.
Yeah,
Well, not his wives, princes, 300 concubines. Dang, that's a lot of women. That's a lot of man, Solomon. He was taking some maca. Because really, to make him strong enough to deal with that many women, man. Man, you have to be wise, dude. Wow.
Yeah. All right. So verse 4, right? For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father.
Wow.
So that was he said in the base, that's the standard, as his heart was David with his father, David his father, my fault. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father. Wow. Then did Solomon build a high place for Shamash.
That's funny. Go ahead.
The abomination of Moab, and the hill that is before Jerusalem, for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
Now it's funny they say Shamash. Those of you who don't know, Shamash is symbolic for the 9-branch candlestick, right? That you see during Hanukkah, right? So look it up. And you look if you go online and look under the Shamash, you will see they'll call it the Shamash candlestick. They'll say it. So they see people are so ignorant, they can say this stuff in your face, and you still don't understand what they're doing. But yeah, Shamash was a Babylonian god, sun god. So look it up, Shamash. Look it up. That's what it is, Shamash. So on Hanukkah, that's what you're doing. There's no feast dedication. No, it ain't that. The Christmas, that's not so. You look at our videos. You see about Hanukkah and feast dedication. You'll see more about that. Right. Are afraid to that. But yeah, Shamash was the god that they used with 7-branch candlestick. Check it
out. Verse 8. And likewise did he for all his strange wives which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. So he's allowing this. Man. He's just allowing this.
No, he's doing it.
He's doing it too.
Yeah, he's doing it.
But it's the fact that Solomon.
I'm sure he's women.
Mind you, he put work in for the God of Israel.
I'm sure, like Delilah, he's a king now. I'm sure he getting the most beautiful ladies in the world. Right. I'm sure he is.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Everything.
No doubt. Yeah. Can't take that away. Yeah. But it's the fact, he was an adamant servant to the God of Israel.
Man. Remember his prayer for wisdom?
Did I?
If you see that prayer, man, it made you want to cry. Right. And then you see him do this, it made you want to cry even more. Like, Solomon, what took place, man? What happened? Wow. Mm.
Where am I at? Verse 9?
Yeah.
Okay. And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded.
And it's something how people say, I see people say, I talk to God every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this making a thing of, he saw him twice.
Yeah.
People talking about, well, I talk to God every day. Are you crazy? What God are you talking to?
Yeah.
This is a big deal. This is Solomon the king.
Like a Bobby the
Twice. Twice. It said twice.
Yeah. That's
Y'all saying you see me every day. Every day. Man, he ain't got no, what's he got to do? He ain't got to do is see you every day. Huh? What you got?
He ain't seen God.
What you got? He what? Every see you every day. What you got? What you can't say yesterday? Yesterday you just say today. What changed? Come on, man. Y'all people be lying. They be lying to you so you don't fall for them tricks. You see that? They saw Solomon, the king of Israel, twice.
Right.
Twice. It made a big deal. I saw you twice and told you this.
Right.
Twice. You know?
And he still kept doing it.
He said, don't go on it.
That's crazy to me.
You see how we say
That's
this?
insane.
We say twice, he still kept doing it. See, the seeing twice is a big thing.
Just once.
And you talking about you see him every day. Every day. Every day.
He's the king. He's the king.
You know?
He's the
And
king.
who are you?
Who are you?
Every day.
He can't be talking to God. He's talking to a ghost.
Exactly.
Bobby the ghost or something. I
Right.
don't know.
Some kind of earthbound something.
Something.
Yeah.
Verse 10, I
Yeah.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
And had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
Yeah.
So right there, our God is merciful.
Yes.
Merciful.
Yes.
After what Solomon has done, he's not even getting. He still has the kingdom.
Yeah,
he still has power. He still has his power. He's still alive.
Right.
He's still alive.
You can't do it twice and you disobeyed him. He's still alive. They hit the third time. He's still alive. So Solomon, man, our God is merciful. Merciful, man.
Merciful.
That he didn't rent it out right there while he stand. You know, we read a story with Aaron. He stripped Aaron. Aaron was done.
Right.
And mercy. You know, Aaron did things, but that's the whole story. But yeah, so for Solomon, man, you this wisest king. He gave you this wisdom far beyond anybody else in the world, then and since. And you let these women, yeah, it was fine. I'm sure it was, but you let them fool you. You was, what they say, bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
Hoodwink. Hoodwink.
I think it also shows, you know, David, you know, how great of a servant he was.
Yeah.
That his
mercy.
his son sinned. He's, you know, I just think that it just
on behalf of your father, I have mercy upon you.
Right.
That's serious stuff, man.
Right.
That's serious stuff.
It's crazy. But it makes me think, like, you know, so far we've spoken about Solomon and Samson, two of, you know, the strongest, wisest men that Israel has seen, right? And they've somehow succumbed to lust.
Yeah.
You know, it just tells me like, wow, like this path is hard. This path of, as an Israelite man, as an Israelite in general, it's hard, right? For our forefathers to succumb to these kind of things, right?
Well, you think, you see though, but even though they succumbed, they messed up, but before said and done, they realized something said, hold up, let's stop. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Let's think about what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
So they realized their alignment wasn't correct. Right. So they had to be realigned to come to God of Israel.
Right.
Now understand that because you do that doesn't mean you're not gonna get out of your punishment. You still get punished.
Yeah.
Right. That's how it is. I'm not gonna say, well, nah. And she was a nice boy. I'm gonna forgive everything. Nah, that's not how it works. If you do certain things, there's a consequence. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Blanket.
Yeah.
So they had a consequence, but yet still have mercy upon them. So they still slept with the fathers.
Yeah.
Right. So that's very important.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me think. Being in Rise leadership. So we work with Priest Kurt. He's our liaison, and sometimes in leadership, we may slack off. We may have a bad week, a bad month, right? And sometimes we have to answer that. We get. He says he references as choked. We get choked. Like he chooses us up in the meetings. Like if we mess up, he chooses us up.
Yeah.
And but we know that our purpose and we have there's a bigger picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though we may mess up, even though we may slack off, sometimes our bigger goal and our best interest. Our best interest is to build this nation, right? And that just makes me think of that. Think of that. Like you'll be punished. You'll be chastised, but at the end of the day, what your purpose is and what the bigger goal is at hand, right?
Right.
So yeah.
What's the price for leadership? But to be a leader, you have to be accountable,
right,
for your actions, for others too, as well.
That's true.
Because it's your job. You have to feed people. Like
right.
what Solomon said, he prayed wisdom to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't wisdom to of himself; it's for the people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that we have to, as a leader, you got to make sure that standard is high, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so once you fail, not only you, but the people under you,
right.
the nation can.
That's true.
Has a consequence.
Suffer, yeah. Suffer.
And we'll see that too.
Right.
And so yeah.
That's true. So with that being said, if you like the discussion, if you like, everything, please make sure to put the fire, spam the sevens.
Burn up.
Comment and share if you're liking this discussion. And put an occasional rise up in there, Put occasional rise up. But we can go on to David and Bathsheba. 2 Samuel 11. And so, lately, we've talked, Solomon, Samson,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're talking about David, and, these are strong men of Israel. These are well-renowned men of Israel, right? Samson, a Nazarite, people with, bigger purpose, right? With a mission at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And, we just see them, like, they have a bigger purpose. I'm just appreciative of this doctrine, I don't know, I just appreciate it, my forefathers.
Well, yeah, we are our culture, that's what we didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I grew up, I didn't know we had the Bible, but we didn't understand the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We understand that my people are in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wasn't a connection, right?
Yeah.
Fortunately, you didn't have to deal with that, as your mom came in Israel. But before that, we read the scripture, but we had no idea that those were our forefathers. See, when you put it that way, there's a connection there.
Yeah.
Right? It's a connection there.
Yeah.
So I'm an Israelite?
Mm-hmm.
So this book is about my people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my culture. So my culture is not hip hop culture.
Yeah, no.
Right? It's not hip hop culture.
It's not hip hop
It's
culture.
my culture.
Yep.
It's my people.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely. So I remember when I first. I'm gonna go back a little bit. It's a few years back now. When I first got one of the books, The Truth Lie in the Bible, and it said Shadrach. Who is this Shadrach? Who is that? Right? So I read up in the name of God. So hold up, the name of God, it's in the Bible? It's not Jesus? Right? It's not Jesus. What? It's not. So we turn to Exodus 3:15. Exodus 3:15. Make sure you don't know. Again, Exodus 3:15. And it says the name of God. I'm like, what? My head exploded. I didn't know what. I said, look around. Did everybody notice? The name of God is right there. It's what God said to call him. That's what God said. You call me by this name forever. So that was like, wow.
don't think
Man.
Google doesn't even know that.
No.
You type what's the name of God, 3 different names pop up.
3 different names. 3 names. And none of them that.
None of it is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
So
none of it.
Let me start reading these books. Elder Shadrach. You know?
Yeah.
So at those times there were no videos on YouTube. It wasn't YouTube those days. Right? So now you have YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can see the lessons that Elder Shadrach teaches.
Right.
And the priesthood.
Right.
You know, so it's there. It's all there. So those of you out there who are not sure, or who decided, you know what, like me, I did it. That's all I want is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what color, no matter what it is, that's all I want is truth.
Right.
Once you really decide that truth is all you want, it will come. I guarantee it'll come to you. It'll come.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta really decide you want truth. Most people don't want truth. Most people want, well, how can it fit in to what I'm doing already?
Mm-hmm.
That's what people want that. They do. They want that.
To, right?
How can it fit? How can it fit in? Let me fit in. So you've been doing all kind of stuff before. Mm-hmm. How we got here in slavery? Not be free, of course, now, but you would never know because if he's still a Christian and a Muslim and a Hebrew Israelite, you still bondage.
Yeah.
You still bondage. You still a slave.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta shake off that, dust it off, and come new.
Yeah.
So when the spring comes, the time of the life, then you come anew.
Yeah.
And say, no, what? I want to keep Passover.
Mm-hmm.
I want to first I want to keep the new moon.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, and the month of Abib, the New Year's, and celebrate,
Real New Year,
and then the Passover.
Yeah.
You see, that's how you start. That's how you come, right? See, if you're talking about serving God and you don't do those things, you're lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
He said, keep the Passover.
Right.
And not a vegetarian Passover. Nah.
Don't do
vegetarian.
stuff that just benefit you. You gotta, if you want the truth, you gotta take what comes with the truth, right? Take all of it.
Right. That's right.
Take
That's
all
right.
of it. Don't just put one foot in.
You know?
I can celebrate.
I like that.
I can celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm not eating a turkey, but just for someone,
right.
For a family get together. No.
Well, God, God won't mind. He won't mind if he do this. He won't mind. So who?
That's when it goes down to what's the word? Relying on their own understanding. Well,
right.
Hell
Go to hell. Yeah. Go to hell. Oh, he's just saying, well, I can do. Well, God don't. I can do this. That goes all
it's
the
for the kids. The
see,
kids.
The wars get muddy. It gets muddy.
Yeah.
Muddy's get water. Water gets muddy rather. So when you start doing things, doing this, going here, that's okay. Let's do this. That's when it gets muddy. That's when you start praying to Jesus. And you start keeping Christmas. You start calling yourself Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah.
The water gets muddy. It gets muddy. And it's to what it just says. It says, "Hero Israel." I was watching on a video on YouTube. I'm sorry to but it's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was talking about swine. I know it's not off topic, but it's good to know. And this guy was Gino Jennings. He's a big Christian. And this guy was a Muslim. They were arguing about eating swine, right? And see, they both couldn't understand Paul, right? Which is we understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, understand Paul. But see, they were not interested in truth. We see again. You said earlier, if it's not truth, it's what?
It's dead.
Or lust.
Yeah, that's
It
lust.
can't be love. How can you love God when you're not dealing with truth? How can you say God's about love? What about truth? Everybody got love. None of the shows with Maury Povich.
Yeah.
You are the Father.
Yeah.
You're the Father.
You said
right?
you love me.
Right. Well, he gave me unconditional love. Yeah. I'm sorry, people. Let's be real. Is that even possible?
No, it's not.
It's not. God never gave you unconditional love. If that was the case, what? Would there be sin? Yeah. Would there be hell?
Yeah, you just doing whatever you want.
It's a condition. You got to do this. If you don't do this, you out of here. You're done. It's a condition. If you get married to somebody, it's a condition. If you have a friend, there's conditions. Mm-hmm. If you treat me wrong as a friend, guess what? I am not going to be your friend no more.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Right.
If you in school, and you're a student, he says, you know what? Test is this day. You can do this. If you don't do that, you will fail the class.
Right.
There's a condition in your whole entire life. You get a brand new car. They say, you know what? Put your tires, do this, do that, do this. And if you want to do it, what? Your car break down. If you don't put gas in your car to get it to move, guess what? Your car won't move.
Right. Even with the friendships, like if I'm friends with someone who has the same kind of morals as me, same interests as me, all right, I'm your friend. But if you go against those morals, if you go against that code of mine, then we're not friends. That's just like the laws.
It's always conditions.
Just like the laws, statutes and commandments. If you go against, if you want to support and you want to serve the God of Israel too, that don't even correlate.
Right. Dumb.
What you doing?
Dumb.
So yeah, it's like, it's conditions. But yeah, where we at? Samuel.
I digress. We go to Samuel.
I'm sorry. Did I say 2 Samuel? I'm sorry. 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 11. Yeah, 2 Samuel 11. All right. I start at verse 2 and go to 6. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. It's an interesting introduction right there. Interesting. And David was sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness. And she returned unto her house. And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. So right there, David committed adultery.
The daddy. It's the daddy.
That's
think about it. You see those shows, right? Yeah. The lady with the Lower Lake show, right? Her. And they get the blood test with the kid.
Yeah.
Who the daddy? The woman said, I only have one man. That's it. Only one man. One man. Find out she had 2-3 other guys. Well, I'm not saying this her, but I'm saying this how messy this lust gets.
Yeah.
It gets so messy.
Yeah.
David, he saw this girl. She was bathing, so his part was half naked. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
She was looking fine. Like, man, the thunderbolt hit him. Man, she fine. I gotta have her, right? I gotta have her. Cause he's a king. He can arrange it, right? And what's she gonna say? He's a king. What's she gonna say? Nah. No, she said, oh, yes.
He knew what we was doing. They said, sit and inquire after the woman. One said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah, the Hittite?
He used his power to today they call it the me, right? The me move. He used his power to move to get what he wanted. That's what he did. It's for real.
He used his power. Yeah.
And now I'm pregnant.
What?
David, it ain't my house. It ain't mine.
It ain't mine. Who is it? Who is it? Because it can't be mine.
No, he didn't say that.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
You know what I'm saying.
But and the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. And David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. Oh, I'm sorry. Right? Oh, let me skip down. I'm sorry. Let me skip down. Yeah, let me skip down. Skip down to 14. I'm sorry. All right. 14. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant in word. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. So right there.
But remember though, see the whole thing with David. She told him that she was pregnant. He come by, she tried to get Uriah to go home.
Lay with Bathsheba. Yeah.
But my man Uriah said, nah, man. How can I go with my wife and y'all he the battle? I can't do that.
Battle, yeah.
And so he was. See, I have to tell you something. See, that's because you're a stranger.
Good point.
Because you're a stranger doesn't mean you're not a good person. right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it says in the scripture where in Exodus it talks about Passover, right? If a stranger comes to your household and it's already keep the Passover, as long as he's circumcised, he can do it, right? So, and remember Cornelius, he was a Gentile, right?
Yeah.
But he loved the people and wanted to serve God.
Yeah.
So people who are strangers, they're good character.
Yeah.
So maybe who knows what Hariah did? Who knows?
Yeah.
But he wouldn't go home, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went out to battle. He was an ally. Good character.
Yeah.
Right? Good character.
Yeah.
And he died for it.
And he stood on that too. He didn't want to go back. Like no, I'm fighting with my comrades. I'm not even.
I mean, his right to do it. He could. If they told him to go home to his wife, he said, "No, I can't do that. How can I go home with my wife? They were hurt, and you guys battling. I can't do that. Don't look right." That's a good character, right? That's a good person.
I don't know if I would. I don't know. Would I do that?
But he was. See, I said he was an ally.
Yeah.
He was so into the fight, to the battle. He would help us, and he would do whatever he needed to do to fight with us. That's why we can't look at people's skin color and say we hate them, and we can't teach them. We can't do that. That's not. We should never do that, right? If their heart is right, and they want to serve the God of Israel, and they should, and you should teach them, because it's our job to teach all nations.
That's true. All right, so if we could skip down to verse 22, same chapter, 2 Samuel. Yeah. All right. And David's, 22. Yeah. So the messenger went and came and shewed David all that Joab had sent him for. And the messenger said unto David, surely the men prevailed against us, and came out unto us into the field, and we were upon them even unto the entering of the gate. And the shooter shot from off the wall upon thy servants, and some of the king's servants be dead, and thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Then David said unto the messenger, thus shalt thou say unto Joab, let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devoureth one as well as another. Make thy battle more strong against the city, and overthrow it, and encourage thou him. And when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife, and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord.
Right.
So there, what he did, he committed adultery. He got his comrade, ally, killed, right? To hide his actions, his lustful actions.
I would say read the whole story and you see what took place afterwards.
Right.
But yeah, see, I think the God of Israel, he knows the heart of man, right? And he does know the heart of man, right? And this heart, Hariah, who knows, right? But his life was forsaken. It happens. He swear, the arrows kill all he will happen. That's the battle. Right? Yeah. But this particular incident should not have been done.
Yeah.
Right? It should not have been done. So, because again, lust.
Yeah.
That's lust. When you lust after these people, or not just people, just in general, you gotta make sure. Of course, you never want to liking something, but don't let that be your end all.
The center of your life, because everything becomes, it's like everything becomes. I don't know what the word is, but it's like everything becomes blurry around you, and it's just that. That.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter. Everything you want
my
to get
desires.
You want to get that.
Yeah. But so just talking about David and Bathsheba, how that story ended, it was bad, it was unfortunate, right? If we could flip to 1 John 2, 15 to 17, we're gonna talk about some more verses of that.
Before you go there,
dies lust.
1 John. Before you go there, let's read Numbers 11.
Numbers 11. All right, cool. Numbers
Verse 11. We 1 to 7. And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord. Now, of course, this happened when we left Egypt.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
The Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. See, sometimes God will say, "No, I ain't having this, man." So, I can deal with something, but something y'all gotta go.
Yeah.
And he burnt them up. Y'all gotta go, man. All this foolishness, all this together, Egypt, y'all still complaining. Y'all, people like complain, and have no solutions at all. And when you ask them about solutions, right, they're quiet.
They put the blame on someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Always complaining,
Projecting. Like, what?
Verse 2. And the people cried to Moses, and when Moses prayed to the Lord, the fire quenched. So Moses says, okay, come on, you want to kill them all because we just came out of Egypt. You want to kill them all. Yeah. And he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burnt among them. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. Now it could be mixed, could be could be different people, could be just, or they went on the same one accord.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, one on the same accord, right?
Yeah.
In addition to the children of Israel, and the children of Israel also wept again and said, "Who shall give us flesh to eat?" The flesh, right? Yeah. That's sometimes you want that cheeseburger sometimes. If you do a cheeseburger, a nice roasted lamb for me, some lamb and some sweet potatoes and some collard greens,
some corn on the side.
Yeah. Nice fresh made bread. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And we remembered the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely. They said freely now.
Wait,
they said
freely?
Freely, as if you was plenty.
What?
All kind of fish you want. He said you couldn't use the straw. It wasn't free. You couldn't use a straw on your own. The fish freely.
Freely?
And the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions. See, if you read that,
those were the crumbs. They threw them out there.
Right. But if you read it like this, it says, man, they were really living large in Egypt. As if you hear them tell a story. So why cry to God? If you was living like this, why would you be crying to the God of Israel? Why? If the fish was free, fried fish, fish cakes, baked fish, salmon, all kind of stuff. All kind of fish you want. Melons, watermelon, all kind of stuff, cucumbers, all kind of salads and soups and everything. If you got all this stuff, why are you crying to the God of Israel?
Yeah.
Why? That makes sense here. But now our soul is dried away. Oh, but now it's not your soul dried away.
Come on.
You was in Egypt and bondage. But now your soul is dried.
They were killing us.
There is nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes. That's a whole other story, man. They paint this picture as if they was living large in Egypt.
Like it's the promised land or something. It's not.
Right, Egypt was the promised land. That's why they painted it. Are you kidding me?
Like nothing but good memories. Last time I checked, they were killing the infant boys.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked.
Right.
What are you talking about? The melons and the leeks.
All this good stuff.
Fish.
And now in verse, it's about
bottom of the barrel food.
So now all they have is manna. All they had was manna. Are you kidding? Manna. All you had was manna. This described as manna. And the manna was as coriander seed. And the color, there was the color of bdellium. And then people went about and gathered it and ground it into mills or beat it into a mortar and baked it in pans and made cakes of it. And it was a taste of fresh oil. Now, those of you who know what that sound like. It tastes like, fresh oil, leavened bread. Angels' food. That's the manna they were eating.
They're downplaying it?
Man.
They're downplaying it.
See that? What is the old wine of Egypt? It's still the reproach of Egypt is on them. So they can't see the freshness, the purity of it. They couldn't see it.
And they just saw the seas open up. They just
Right.
saw it. They just walked on dry land.
Lord have mercy.
They saw all those miracles happen.
All that.
And they skipped that. They skipped that. That was like an ad, a commercial or something. And they went back to the Egypt where they had shackles on their ankles and their wrists, eating, I guess, melons and the leeks and the onions.
And think about it.
It's bad. That's a recipe for bad bread.
They were oppressed by Pharaoh
Bad bread.
and all of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
They travel by night and day. They're by the fire.
Yeah.
And they come to this huge body of water that you cannot cross over. Imagine the sea roaring. Imagine. And here's Egypt. Here's Egyptians and Pharaoh on your backside.
Mm-hmm.
You cornered.
Yeah.
Where you gonna go? All of a sudden, Moses raises his staff, and the ocean, the sea opens up, and it's dry land.
Yeah.
They ain't never seen it before,
Yeah.
ever.
No.
And it never happened again. And they walked on dry land. And when they were clear through, guess what? Before they cut through, imagine that, the waters. You probably saw mounds of fish in the ocean.
What was going through their heads?
You
like,
know?
what?
Every though the whale came by.
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. I see that every day.
You
No,
know?
you don't.
The
You
dolphin,
see that every day.
dancing and stuff in the water. You seen that?
Like,
You remember how now they have Discovery Channel, but you read that. You seen it in life, real life.
right.
Here's the water. You seeing all the ocean.
First of all,
The ocean life.
the sea is
sea rather.
it's like it's not even like, I think it's a huge portion of it that's uninhabited.
Mm-hmm.
So that in general is gonna make me
You see,
that's gonna make my jaw drop.
man.
If it's separated, I'm a what?
I seen a whale. I seen it at the SeaWorld, at the aquarium. But it's different to seeing this natural habitat and seeing this in water. And they saw that. But not only that, when they crossed the dry land, it was dry. It wasn't muddy, it was dry.
It was dry.
And they saw Pharaoh coming. But because Pharaoh couldn't chase him, something was done to the wheels. And the guy he was black. Give you enough time to get across. And then come across. You know what? He said, you know what? I want you to see what I can do. I want you to see that. See, they're going to oppress you. See, don't worry about it. I'll fight for you. I'll fight for you. Don't worry about fighting. You just serve me, and I'll fight for you.
Right.
So when they crossed the land, they turned back. They saw Pharaoh coming with the horses and chariots are raging and running and going, right? All of a sudden, the water says, at one time, we saw that the whale saying who? Next time, the whale on top of him.
Yeah.
It's black.
Yeah.
It's black. Are you
Yeah.
serious? So you forgot that.
Right.
And now, you talking about how great Egypt, the fish
Right.
was aplenty and all that kind of stuff. Man, the lust.
Maybe they just caught in what they know. They caught in the physical. They're
Yeah.
caught in the physical.
That's the world, though. That's the
That's
world.
true.
The world's all about lust.
That's
Now,
true.
because the thing about if you don't have the God of Israel, it's not true. So it's all lust. It's all lust. It's all lust and lies.
It's all lust and death.
So back to that manna. So that angel's food, the taste of fresh oil.
Right.
Passover. Peace, living the bread.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Let's continue. Then Moses heard the people wept throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased. Man, you can't tell these people.
Yeah.
You crying about what you say? We just got out of. Come on. Moses said to the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? Wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight? And thou layest the burden of all these people upon me. Moses, I gotta deal with these people. I knew it. I know when I said yes. When I said yes to do it, I knew it.
Yeah.
I know these people.
Yeah.
Disobedient. Man, worse We are worst enemies sometimes. Our worst enemies.
Yeah.
Man, talking about the fish was good and melons and stuff. He was a slave, getting whipped. Getting whipped. Are you killing me? Getting whipped. Talking about it was good in Egypt. Come on now. How far am I going? I'm going to verse 11 there. Let's go to Psalms 81.
Okay.
These people.
You think that the people, they would be more adamant, they would be more focused on the task at hand than Moses, because Moses, he was raised in the Pharaoh's quarters, was he not? He wasn't raised as a slave, so you would think they would want to get out of there even more, like, but they were just institutionalized.
That's that spirit. That spirit of Egypt was upon them.
You said 51 or 81?
Psalms 81.
81.
Yeah. Read 8 to 12. Hear, O my people, and I will testify unto thee, O Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it again. O Israel, if thou wilt hearken to me, thou shalt no strange God be in thee, neither shalt thou worship any strange God. We saw that earlier with Solomon and Samson, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Upon thy mouth wide, and I open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. Now you're not saying give me some popcorn or some chicken. It's in the spirit now. It's the movie. So you get the old spirit before, right? You get the old spirit. Right. That's why they love Egypt. Now you got to empty that, dump it out, cleanse. That's why you were in the wilderness.
Yeah.
You weren't ready to go to the promised land because you had the old spirit in you. So it had to be cleansed first.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna bring it to 12. Okay. My people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up into their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsels.
And you see that today.
Yep.
You see that today. People relying on their own understanding.
Yep.
People gone to Christianity, Judaism, Islam,
Hebrew Israelites. It says here, I said, oh, Israel. Very clear, distinctive, right?
Yeah, no.
Israel.
Verbatim.
Not Christian, not new spiritual Israel.
No, new Christian
Catholics.
Catholic Israelite.
No. I understand. You can do what you want. That's your faith. You're Christian, you're Muslim. If that's what you want to do, you can go right ahead. But understand, in this Bible, it's about Israelites.
Right.
Israel. It says, "Hear, O Israel."
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we talked a good bit about love. So let's talk about love now.
Right.
And love, remember my thesis statement. I said, remember, without the spirit of truth, it's lust. But with the spirit of truth, it's love, right? So let's go ahead and dive right in to, Ruth. The story of Ruth.
What's your story, kid? Good story.
So yeah, I'm gonna read verse 1. No, I'm sorry. It's chapter 1, verse 16 to 18 first. And here we have who we have? Ruth and Naomi. I'm sorry, not Naomi. I'm sorry. Yeah. So let me just go read it.
Before we do that, I think do a little background of Ruth, who she is. So I guess the story of Ruth. You know that time that Naomi and her husband they left Israel because there was trouble in Israel. So they went there. They went there and to deal with in Moab to deal with her people, Moabites. Her husband died. Naomi's husband died, and her two sons died, and they had wives. Ophrah and Ruth was one of them.
Right.
So is this part where she?
Yeah, she was about to.
Yeah. So now there's word that Israel now is revived. So now Naomi wants to go back home to Israel. So she gave him the option of, y'all can go back to your people and your God. So I'm about to go home. Y'all do what you need to do. So this is his response.
All right. So verse 16. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For with thither thou goest, I will go. And where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. So there, she's already said in the, I'm here with you. I'm on your side. I'm in your corner. I want to serve your God. I want to be with you.
We said earlier that the stranger, she was a Moabite. She wasn't an Israelite. He was saying she was a Moabite. That's in the scripture. She's a Moabite, right? So we teach everybody if they have a heart to learn to serve the God of Israel, as she said in her own words, she would.
Right.
Your people will be my people. Your God, my God. So right there, she's saying she wants to be one of us. And if that's the case, and sincerity of heart, you teach them. And that's what it is. You don't refrain against them. You teach them. You help them. Right. So that's our job.
So we don't gatekeep the truth.
Right.
We don't keep out the truth, right? So yeah, verse 17. Yeah, that's a young person.
Oh really?
Yeah,
gatekeep.
All right. Yeah, you don't know that. It's a young person too. All right, verse 17. Where thou diest will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. 18. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. So there, when she saw the desire, the drive to, I want to be with you. I don't want to go back home. I want to be with you. I want to serve your God. I want to pray to your God, and I want to be a part of your people, right? And that's beautiful. That's beautiful to see.
I tell you something, and people say it's all only one God. That's the case. If it was one God, this wouldn't be discussion. No. If Ruth wasn't an Israelite, this wouldn't be a book. It's a book because she wasn't an Israelite. That's why it's a book.
Yeah.
Right? If she's an Israelite, then that's just normal with what it is.
Right.
People are so, I don't want to say stupid, people are so ignorant of the truth. They've been lied to, and because they don't have the truth, they like to nitpick on certain stupid things that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Ruth was a Moabite. She didn't want to serve the God of the Moabites. She wanted to serve Naomi's God. Wow.
All right. All right. So if we could skip to chapter 3, and we're gonna read from 6 to 13. So they we're introducing the character Boaz. He's an Israelite. So verse 6, I'm sorry. And she went down into the floor and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn. And she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid her down. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, Who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast shewed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest, for all the city of my people doeth know that thou art a virtuous woman. That's powerful.
It is. She's with different people, and she's known. See, that's why if you remember the beginning, you read verse 6, right? And she went down on the floor and did according to her mother-in-law that bade her, right? So she's taking the instructions by her mother-in-law, right? Yeah. And the instructions has given her her name. Not seeing it on fast name. She names a virtuous woman.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
I think it's beautiful how it's kind of set up. How it's just family oriented. She was a strange woman, right? But she said, no, I want to serve the God of Israel. I want to be there for the God of Israel. I want to be your people. And it's just beautiful how it's coming together. I think I'm at verse 11. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people do know that thou art a virtuous woman. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning, that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman's part. But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee, as the Lord liveth. Lie down until the morning.
So basically, you guys know, we said earlier that her husband died, right? So it's the culture that the husband died. His brother will be her husband, right? So he had a choice. If you're gonna do it, that's what Boaz is saying. If you won't do it, then I'll do it. You know, so that's what it was. You know, it's all about law, about truth. You know, and because this woman wanted to serve the true living God, and because she was serving the true living God, she became a virtuous woman, a woman that Boaz liked,
right,
and loved.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna flip to chapter 4 and read 13 to 17. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the woman said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, which have not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, hath borne him. And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom, and became nurse unto it. And the women her neighbors gave it a name, saying, There is a son born to Naomi. And they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. Wow.
Yeah. Because this woman wanted to serve the true living God.
Yeah.
So that's why we can't hold you from learning and teaching.
Yeah.
We can't. If they wanted to truly desire to serve the living God,
Yeah, you see,
teach them.
if you want the truth, you fight for the truth, right?
Indeed.
Right, and it's like, if I want something, I'm gonna fight to have it. I'm gonna fight to this is my culture. No, I want this culture. This is mine. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But,
Matthew.
Matthew 22.
Yeah, Matthew 22.
So that's cool. Let's go.
Matthew 22. Let's read verses 36 to 40. Master, which is the greatest commandment in the law? So, in those days they all try to test Jesus.
I'm sorry, what verse?
36 to 40.
36 to 40.
Matthew 22, 36 to 40. They all try to test Jesus. Test him, right? In according to doctrine. And Jesus was slapping around with his words. Right? He said to him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. He didn't say you should love me, did he?
No.
He didn't say love me, he said love the Lord thy God. This is the first and great commandment. The second is likened to it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And on these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So you see, this is Jesus talking about the law and prophets, first of all. Talking about the law, the prophets, right? Talking about God by himself. This is not the form of doctrine that you've heard before. Tell you on Sundays. No. It's the truth. It's not my words. This is written in black and white, right? That's what Jesus said. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. You see, we read earlier where it says Samson or Solomon didn't love the God with all their heart. Didn't love God with all of their heart. It said it, right?
Yeah, their hearts were with some other.
Yeah, some other God. You can't
God.
serve 2 gods.
Yeah.
One or the other. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You can't, you don't mix it. When you mix spirits, what happens? You get drunk. You know, you get drunk.
Yeah.
You get all messed up. You can't do it. So then you gotta see you gotta get sober again. So Solomon and Samson, they wasn't sober. You can't serve God and all the gods you were serving. You come what do they say? Inebriated, intoxicated, right? Intoxicated. But then you can't see. You're walking like a blind man, right? Yeah. So that's what you have to understand. Oh Lord God first, you know, and your brethren, right?
Right.
So. Let's continue. Let's go to Romans 7.
Romans 7.
So now we in the new. So now we already established the truth is first, right? Truth. And we already said Israel. Hey, you can't go wrong now. Let's go to Romans.
What verse?
That's Romans 7. Romans 7. Verse 7 to 13. Okay. 7. Okay, yeah, 7. All right.
You want me to read?
Yeah, go ahead.
What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid, nay. I had not known sin, but by the law, for I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. But sin, taking occasion by the commandment, wrought in me all manner of concupiscence. For without the law, sin was dead. For I was alive without the law once, but when the commandment came, sin revived and I died. Wow. So, we can go back to verse 8. But sin, taking occasion by the commandment, wrought in me all manner of concupiscence. For without the law, sin was dead. Without the law, it's dead. Without the spirit of truth, it's dead.
No, understand this though. Understand this. See, I want people to understand because he was bigger Paul and he got to see the Paul. You know. So this painted a picture that some of you are familiar with.
Okay.
Some of you celebrate Christmas, right? And you're in the practice of going and get a tree, right? Going to the forest, the tree store, wherever out in the woods, and go and get a tree, right? So there you chop the tree down, chop, and you tie it to your car. You take it home, right? Understand? Once you've chopped that tree down from its roots, you started to kill the tree.
Yeah,
the tree is done.
Yeah, you killed it.
It's done. It's last left.
You can't put water in it because it's gonna make the.
But they do. So they take it home, and they set the tree up, and they put it in a watering pot where it gets water, right? And then they deck it with lights and all manner of things, as if to say the tree is now alive again. Right? A tree. Read Jeremiah 10. You will see that too. So they deck it and they put all kind of stuff on it. They put a star on top and they put the balls and all kinds of stuff to give it life again. But it's dead. But see, because the doctrine you were taught by the Gentiles, right? They told you that you do this thing, even though you don't see it in the scripture. There's no instructions to keep Christmas, but you do it anyway because you know why? It's the culture that is taught by Christianity,
right?
Even though it's not in the Bible.
It's not even in the Bible.
December 25th, you can't find it, right?
Jesus' birthday,
right? And then, but see, you think you're doing right. You think you're serving God, but now you come to the truth. You meet an Israelite. And that Israelite teaches the truth. Right? So that truth comes, that old you who thought you were serving God is dead. Well, you want to kill it because it was dead already. It was comfortable you serving Lucifer because you were in the whole thing of serving the dead.
Right.
But now this man of truth, or woman of truth comes to you of life, kills that old you. Old you was gone, dead. And the law comes. The old you is dead. Now the new you is breathing life. As so were the Gentiles. Remember when Paul went to Gentiles? They had no God.
Yeah.
Nothing. But see, but because they accept the gospel, what was their doctrine was taught to them, then they became living again. No, not again for the first time. Life. They got life. Right?
Yeah.
Hope we understand it. We're gonna please, if you have questions on this part, please send it in, comment. We'll be happy to answer questions.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's, let me see. I have what? I have. You have any more questions? I have one more. Do you have any more?
No, you go to Deuteronomy 6.
Okay, let's go ahead. You want to go and read if you want to?
Yeah, for sure. Deuteronomy 6. Verse.
Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 to 7.
All right. Deuteronomy 6, verse 4 to 7. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. So the God of Israel, Lord our God, is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Utmost attention, utmost, give the, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Anyway, give the God of Israel your undivided attention, Put him in the forefront of your life.
Your whole heart.
Whole heart. Verse 6, I think. Yeah. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
I want to. We start the verse 4. I want us to see that here Israel, right, and it talks about the Lord God is one.
Right.
Our salutation.
Yep.
It calls to the mind not only who we are, but the God we serve.
Right.
We don't serve no many gods. We serve one God.
One God.
We are the Israelites, all right? We don't need anybody else to give us credit.
That's
the God of Israel is giving us credit. Right. He's chosen us.
Right. Well, I just wanted to, emphasize verse 7 really quick because I think it's a really important verse. So, right, really quick. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So there, you're supposed to teach your children's children, about this doctrine. And even every all the time, when you wake up, when you go to sleep, this is our forefathers, telling stories about, David, our forefathers, Abraham, things like that. Teaching our children, 'cause that's what it's about. We want to grow. We want to grow this nation. We want to build it up, and we want to make sure that even our grandchildren will know of our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
I even started, because there's so much distraction, so much stuff out there. Especially for our children, they go to school, all that stuff they have to do. You got to take them out of the classroom because the classroom's having a party for Christmas and all these things. They're having a crazy week where they dress a certain way for the holiday season. Yeah. And they have. One time I went to class, to school, 2 weeks. As soon as I came in the door, they're singing these Christmas carols. So they're all in the gym. That's so loud, right? Coming in the door, you hear them singing Christmas carols, right? Yeah. So then when it's time to leave, guess what? They're singing Christmas carols. Yeah. So it's like and these are all the students now. All the students, my daughter, they'll probably put them in the library. So they're isolated, but still, all that stuff they're doing, Yeah. So what I do is what I do to combat this, what I do when my girls are asleep, I go to their room, right, when they sleep. If they're not faking sleep, go and then whisper in their ear. I tell them, don't forget your Israelite princess. It's those things like that, See, they sleep, so hopefully it will hit them subconsciously, so they don't forget. So we got to do those things, those something to combat
Right.
all that other stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know? So
It's true. But yeah, we talked about a lot today. You know, we discussed a lot of scripture, a lot of things.
But it's one thing is, we did, but it's even a lot more. So I definitely
much.
encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and look at all this there. You can
Absolutely. But no, today we discussed a lot, right? We discussed, what it means to. We discussed what it means to, what it means to lust for the physical, and why it's important to have God of Israel, the spirit of truth and understanding at the forefront of our lives always. Because if we don't, ultimately we're gonna turn our hearts away from God. We're gonna go follow,
suffer the consequences.
right? We're gonna suffer the consequences. We're gonna follow other gods. We're gonna get stuck in materialistic things, different, little G gods, things like that. So that's why it's so important to always have the God of Israel at the forefront of your life, right? Because you're gonna prosper, you're gonna reap benefits from that, because you're not stuck in, wow, I gotta have the 2022 Dodge Charger, I gotta have, I gotta get the newest shoes, things like that. No, I want to have, the God of Israel. I want to teach this nation. I want to build it up. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please don't forget to join us at 7:30 on Fridays and on Saturdays at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. Peace.